The end of the road to Macstock with organizer Mike Potter, Part 2. This is Mac Voices. This edition of Mac Voices is supported by the MacVoices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter to keep you up on all the latest from Mac Voices. Watch or listen to Mac Voices straight from your email client. Sign up at macvoices.com/newsletter and stay up to date. Welcome to Mac Voices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, this is part 2 in our wrap-up conversation on the road to Macstock 2023 with organizer Mike Potter. This time, Mike talks about the digital pass, the virtual ticket, and all the details you need to attend Macstock without actually attending Macstock, or at least benefiting from the presentations that are recorded there. Let's go back and let Mike do the talking. I say it, and I know it sounds like hyperbole, but I really mean it. It's one of my favorite weekends of the year because I get to spend it with people enthusiastic about what I'm enthusiastic about. I get to spend it with friends, and I've said this a million times, old friends I'm just going to meet for the very first time, some new friends that I've met through the road to Macstock now that I'll get to meet in person. So it's just that's why you want to come in person, and make plans for next year already. You want to come in person, but if you can't, the next best thing will be this year, the virtual ticket. Up till now, the next best thing has been just to watch the presentations once they're released on the digital pass. But now you can be there. And Mike, I don't know enough about the software you're going to be using. Will people have a chance to, you will be busy managing everything, but will people have a chance to interact with each other in the virtual environment, or is it just pretty much going to be a broadcast kind of thing?
Well, right. So it'll be broadcast to them, and there will be a chat room. So the folks who are in attendance watching the virtual pass will be able to interact with each other. And then if they want to ask a question of a presenter or a question of me or whatever, all we do is ask that they preface that question with a Q:, because I can filter through the software that we're using, Ecamm Live, I can filter the chat by a specific string. And so we'll be filtering it by Q:, a Q and a colon. And so if I can filter that and catch the questions only because they preface it that way, then I can mark them in the software and we can make sure to ask them of the presenters. Now, obviously, just like with in-person attendance, we won't get to everybody. But if nothing else, maybe what we can do is get those questions to a presenter, even if we can't answer them live, we can get it to the presenter, find out. And I should have a pretty good idea who is asking that question and get them connected up so that they can get an answer to them later. And that's just what we do at Macstock too. If you're in person and you don't get a chance to ask a question live, as it were, you can always walk up to the presenter later and ask them the question. Well, this will be kind of a virtual way of doing that. If you can ask a question, even if we don't get it asked of them live, I'm hoping to be able to connect people up later.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So there will be a level. It will be a reduced level, obviously, but a level of potential interaction. So that's
the plan.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
Nobody. If I remember correctly, let's see, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I guess a hurricane hit O'Hare. And it's like, oh, that's exciting. That's where I'm flying into. So or tornado.
The tornado, yeah.
Excuse me, tornado.
Yeah, we did have some in the area the other day. Now, I'll be honest, for anyone traveling from out of the area to here, that's actually pretty rare for here. And we do have them in Illinois in the more open plains and things, but they have something touched down by O'Hare. It's not particularly common. And likewise, apparently, I just learned today. I was home. I just learned today that we had one touchdown in my community that same night. I had no idea. So the sirens went off, but we're looking outside and it's blue skies. So, it's like, it was weird. It was weird. It's not like it is on TV when they say a tornado is coming and, they spend hours and hours planning for it and buying out the stores. And no, tornadoes are like that. Hurricanes, you have a couple days. Tornadoes, there you go.
Sirens go off. You need to.
You want to find shelter.
Yeah,
you want to find shelter.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so let's go through this. First of all, for the physical attendees, Macstock starts at 8 a.m. Saturday.
Yes, so we're going to start check-in and registration at 8 a.m. Saturday, and of course we'll be there at that time Sunday as well. Sunday's usually not as bad. Most everybody's already been registered and checked in on Sunday, but registration and check-in will start at 8. We'll get people to their seats, and then we'll start taking the stage just about 9 o'clock. We want to get you, as our first presenter, we want to get you talking at 9:15. That's what time you're scheduled for. So we want to make sure that you hit that mark. So I'm going to do my best, Chuck. I'm going to say this on your show right now. I'm going to do my best to be brief this year. So I'm typing up some introductory comments. I added some extra stuff, and I went, oh gosh, I'm not going to have time for that because Chuck's going to be pushing me off a stage. So I'm going to do my best to be brief. And there's a couple announcements I need to make too. So I may even start that a couple minutes early. We'll just see how quickly people get to their seats and whatnot. It's actually a little bit easier, if I'm being honest, than the previous venue because that's where you hang out and sit and watch the presentation. So we'll know when people are kind of ready to go. And maybe I can just start a little bit earlier too, so we can start you on time.
Perfect. So that's for the physical attendees. So for the virtual attendees, obviously, the same schedule will apply. And this is all Central Time, by the way. Of course, it won't matter for the in-person, but for the rest of the world,
correct.
Central U.S. time.
Yes.
Let's see.
I'm going to start them about 15 minutes early.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll start the live stream about 15 minutes early. There's some well, should I share the technical reasons for that? Probably not.
Sure.
I can share. So, as happens every year, you have things lined up a certain way. And this year, we had somebody lined up to help me run the live stream and all that. And unfortunately, they're not going to make it. So I will be running the live stream this year. So that means there's going to be a little bit of I have to be better about my timing in terms of when I get on stage, when I get back to the equipment to run it, monitor the chat room, all that kind of stuff. But the good thing is I'm going to be right there next to the stage. We have a tech table literally next to the stage, and that's where I'm going to be. So I'll be very close the entire weekend. As a result, though, I'm not going to be wandering around. I'm not going to be leaving the room. I'm going to be there. So that's why we're going to start at about 8:45 for the live stream, and then if I can, I'm going to try to do my stuff a little earlier. Again, based on people are getting seated and stuff like that. Try to do my stuff a little bit earlier so that I can get back to my seat at the tech table and be ready to, do switching and stuff for you and for Rachel and for Dave and everybody else taking the stage that day. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and how many, every show that we do, there's always a little bit of a pre-show because you're trying to make sure the stream gets up and everything is working and everybody's mic is working and all. So, yeah, completely understandable.
We might even start it a little bit earlier just for that purpose, just to test and make sure that the mics are, the audio is getting out to them and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So the virtual pass, what kind of pricing is there for the virtual pass?
Virtual pass is $97. That includes the live stream and it includes the digital pass. Again, throwing in the digital pass as part of the package this year. In future years, they may be sold separately. That's kind of the intention. But this year, because it's new, because we have new equipment, because things happen. I wanted to make sure that that digital pass is included. So rather than needing to purchase a digital pass separately, a lot of conferences that you attend, many of the ones that I attend, you buy your virtual pass and then they say, oh, to get the recordings, it's only this much more. Okay, I buy that too. This time, and I buy that too. But this time, people don't have to worry about that. You buy the virtual pass, you get the recordings too. And that was just important to me so that everybody has the best experience that they can have, even if something goes wrong, even if audio cuts out, even if a camera gets, if a camera gets tripped over, I won't be able to do much about that. That's going to be in the camera's recording too. That's a bad example, Chuck. But, you know what I mean. If something goes wrong, if the live stream cuts out, if internet goes out for a minute or two, whatever, there is going to be that recording later that people can go to and watch it. And I'm including that free with this year's virtual pass. So $97 gets you both.
And if you don't want to attend virtually or can't for whatever, the digital pass is how much?
In that case, you buy the virtual pass and you just watch the recordings later. Oh, okay. So in essence, what we're doing, to be clear, in essence, what we're doing is we're selling the virtual pass for the price that the digital pass always sold for.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. I haven't looked at that because I'm coming in person. So, I haven't had the need to look for it. So,
right. Exactly.
So virtual, digital, however, live or recorded, same price. You just experience it the way you want to. Great.
For what I thought was sake of simplicity, I kept that digital pass name because that's what I had been using throughout the years. And yet I needed something to identify this new thing, this new live stream. So I thought, well, let's stick with the theme. So we had digital pass and virtual pass. And I understand that gets a little confusing, but if you buy virtual pass, you get the recordings later. And so if you want the recordings later, but you can't attend in person, just buy the virtual pass. The name of which will probably change to digital pass after everything's all over, but it'll, in essence, be the exact same thing.
Got it. Macstock Conference and Expo.com is where you go to do all of that.
Yes.
And you'll get the links that Mike will send you to be there with us virtually. And if you are coming in person, I'm looking forward to saying hello to you in person and shaking hands and, making a new friend. And if you're coming virtually, then I will see you on a screen somewhere. But same thing, please, toss out comments, questions for me and for any and all the other presenters, because I know they all have the same attitude I do, that we want to reach people with whatever our respective messages are and have you feel part of the family.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If you are coming in person, please don't hesitate to reach out and say hi to anyone in attendance. Anyone. You hear that familiar podcaster voice, whoever it is, and you want to introduce yourself, please do. That's why everyone is there. Everyone is there to meet new people. Everyone is there to learn. I mean, we have had so many new relationships spring up from Macstock in these past years. Not only folks who've decided that they want to get into podcasting, folks who now listen to somebody else's show, and it's not just about podcasting, but maybe buy someone's book, maybe take part in one of their online classes. Presenters have a lot to offer. And if someone is offering that and you like what they have to say, check them out. Learn more about what they can provide you after Macstock is over.
I want to wrap up with this point because I know it's a comment that's been made in the past. This is not a podcaster conference. Okay. Yeah. A lot of the presenters do have podcasts. We're not there because we're podcasters. We're there because we have a message that we want to deliver and that Mike is giving us the platform to deliver in conjunction with his theme of learn. So don't think it's just a bunch of us are going to get up there and chat away. That's kind of not the point here. The point is to deliver some good, actionable, useful information that you can take home, that makes you think about things the way you want to think about them. If you end up being a fan or a listener or a viewer of any of the podcasts that are represented there, great. And if not, that's fine too. But yeah, this is not a podcaster conference. This is Macstock.
Yeah, I really need to hire you as my PR person.
I thought you already did.
Road to Macstock.
Yes, I'm just a fan. That's all. I'm just a fan. Mike, thank you so much. It's great having a chance to catch up a little bit here. Let everyone listen in to our conversation and get ready for one of the best weekends of the year.
It's going to be a really fun weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for having me on, Chuck. We'll see you in person next week.
We'll see you in person next week, folks. We hope we'll see you in person next week at Macstock. As always, I'm Chuck Joyner. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.